This is Suchitra Vijayan, and thank you for joining us for the Polis Project's weekly dispatches series. As the country celebrates its 74th Independence Day, the Government of India continues to criminalize dissent. Peaceful protesters who are being subjected to intimidation, harassment, and arrests for their participation in Anti-Citizenship Amendment Act (CAA) protests are being again arrested. In addition to this, the Delhi witnessed the pogrom in February 2020, where many students who took part in the peaceful anti CAA protests were either arrested and jailed under the draconian anti terror laws or subject to intense intimidation and harassment. And they've been called in to interrogation during the COVID pandemic. At least 5 students remain jailed in Delhi. Asif Iqbal, Devanga Kalita, Gulfisha Fatima, Mehran Haider, and Natasha Narwal. And besides them, there are many others across the country who are currently under detention, including Dr. Kafeel Khan. Joining us today to discuss the current crisis and also to discuss about what is happening to Dr. Kafeel Khan and Gulfisha Fatima are Dr. Harjit Singh Bhatti, a doctor at AIMS New Delhi. He's also the national president of the Progressive Medicos and Scientists Forum, formed to demand quality healthcare and services. He's also been active in the fight to get Dr. Khan released. We also have with us Mehnaz Najmi, who's an adjunct professor at the School of Research Program and Political Science at Tuxedo American University in South America. She has a PhD from Jamia Millia University and a master's from Political Science in JNU, and she regularly writes for various platforms. Dr. Singh and Dr. Najmi, thank you so much for joining us today. I want to start with Dr. Kafeel Khan. Dr. Singh, can you tell us a little bit about Dr. Khan and why he's been arrested for the second time? Because there was also another arrest that happened in 2017.
Yes, I can say that since his first issue of that Gorakhpur oxygen tragedy, when he overnight he became a hero in the eyes of whole nation, and it was also told in his report by the Gorakhpur hospital report. They also told that during that day, during the time of that 10th August when this incident happened, he was helping many people and he arranged oxygen cylinders also. But this thing was not acceptable for the government. And if he becomes a hero, then it comes, the question rises on administration and government that whose failure is this? So from the beginning itself, previously I was AIMS RDA president when he was first scapegoated in this incident, and from the beginning I was very much pointing out this issue that he is made a scapegoat of government's incompetence, and that scapegoating is still continuing. Whenever he comes out, he always raises question about poor healthcare infrastructure in Uttar Pradesh. He also raises question how the poor are not able to get treatment, and he himself goes to people, arranges health camps, and by this way, and not only he provides treatment to the people, he also raises questions on the healthcare system. This is not acceptable by the government, and I have seen that the government in one way or the other always tries to keep him in jail. And this time, corona time, when he was most needed outside, he was still forcefully kept inside, and the judiciary was not even listening to his case. It's 13th time that his case was deferred without hearing.
Could you give us a little bit more background on why he was arrested the second time? This was in relation to the anti-CAA protest, correct?
Yeah, this was in relation to anti-CA protest, but in that relation, one FIR was lodged in Aligarh police station. But in that case, the judiciary has already given him bail, means he already got bail for that case. But the government kept him under NSA because they gave a justification that if he comes out, if he was outside, then he is trying to agitate people and trying to create a disharmony. So by this thing they put an NSA on him, and he is now under NSA. Otherwise, the case of that inflammatory speech or the FIR against him in Aligarh police station was already, the bail was already given by the judge on that case.
And as today, journalist Betwa Sharma has reported for the Huffington Post, he's actually spent 480 days in prison.
Yes,
Dr.
yes.
Najmi, I want to come to you. Could you tell us about who Gulfisha Fatima is and the events that led up to her arrest?
Yeah. Actually, I look it in a different perspective, whether it is Kafeel Khan or Gulfisha Fatima. Gulfisha Fatima she was a student of Delhi University. She did her masters and bachelor's from DU and then joined some private university to do an MBA. She was an active participant of anti-CAA protest which was happening in Northeast Delhi, especially in Jafrabad. And I have seen and met her in Shaheen Bagh protest also. So what my perspective is little bit different. One, of course, there are a lot of conspiracies, there are a lot of efforts to make these voices silent. But on the different note, I want to add something else, that there is a grand narrative proposed by RSS and different parties or the right wing, if I may say, that Muslims are those people who have always been illiterate. They are the people who are into menial job. They are the ones who are just a burden on economy, or they are people who are having all the criminal background. And there are multiple reports in media where they are ridiculing the Muslims, where they are doing all those name calling stuff. I can name a lot of media channels and reports. And anti-CAA protest was something which changed the image of Muslim. There was a new narrative that they are educated. They are students from Jamia Millia Islamia. There were students from JNU and DU who were participating in these protests. And a idea which was proposed earlier, that Muslims do not study, Muslims do not go out, or Muslim women prefer living in the four walls of their houses, or they are forced to live in those houses. But Gulfisha Fatima or Safura Zargar or likes, or the students or the teachers or even the housewives who were sitting in the Shaheen Bagh protest, they actually shattered those ideas. They came out and they said, no, we are not like what you are telling the media and the world. We are not somebody who is just a housewife, or who is just living in the prison. We have our own say, we have ideas, we have thought process. And Gulfisha was one such lady. She was very vocal in Shaheen Bagh protest, she was very vocal in the Jafrabad protest. The only problem which I found, that there were 5,000 plus women who were sitting in those dharnas or those protests that day for 3 consecutive days. But Gulfisha was handpicked. She was handpicked because she was
I think we've lost Professor Najmi very briefly, so I'm going to go
Yes.
back to Dr. Singh. Dr. Singh, you've mentioned how Dr. Khan has been, his bail application has been dismissed almost 13 times. Can you
Yes.
walk us through the legal trauma that the family has
hello.
faced? Um,
Yes.
sorry, I just put a question to Dr. Singh, and I'll just come back to you, Dr. Najmi. Dr. Singh, can you tell us a little bit about the legal ordeal that the family has suffered?
Yes, a lot. Means I have talked to his elder brother. Even his younger brother talked to me many times, and they were all saying that there is lots of problems going on at home also, but they have to go to courts and just always sit in the court for from morning to evening, and just they were updating that there is we our number is this that much, and then suddenly they came to know that their case was again deferred. So overall means they have also, not only they were fighting a legal battle, they are also fighting the rumors also. There are few people who started in a conspiracy. They started means they started accumulating all the money for his legal battle, so they have to defunk that cases also. They have to tell the people about that also, that we are not in demand of money. We don't money from people. We just want their support, and to support to the Dr. Kafil, because if the people will support him, then only he can come out. Otherwise, the way the government is creating or the atmosphere around him, it's very difficult for him to get bail or to come out easily. And we are seeing that his NSA was goes on extending again and again, and which is putting a lots of burden on the on the minds of their family members.
Dr. Najmi, sorry, we briefly lost you. Do you want to
Yeah,
finish
yeah.
your thought?
Let me
And then, like,
continue.
I want to put more questions to you about Gulfisha's incarceration.
Yeah. What I was trying to say that put forward that one, of course, there is an idea that you need to crush the all the dissent which you are having right now. They want to have that kind of a state where dissent is not celebrated, and it is actually a dangerous time to live here in India. But these were the people who tried to question the government. These were the people who actually defied the law made by the parliament. They were questioning, and these questions were coming out from the Muslims. Gulfisha, who was supposedly a hijab wearing woman, somebody who was supposed to be living in the home, she shouted, she called a lot of ladies to come out and question. That is not an idea of Indian Muslim woman, especially the Muslim woman. Muslim woman is somebody who is not sitting in the protest. She is somebody who is just taking the orders and commands from her husband or her brother or father. So this is the idea, and there are a lot of WhatsApp forwards where they are caricaturing the Muslim woman as somebody, they are living a subservient life, or they are living like a slave, or Muslim men are marrying four times and they are into polygamy, and the wives are living a notorious life. And these women, when they came out, or Gulfisha, when she was celebrating her womanhood, she was there at the protest site, and not only her, but she was able to call a lot of women. She had this mass support. That was something which really irritated, muzzled the people in power. One, how dare you come out and tell us that you do not agree with our laws, with the laws made by us? And second, being a Muslim, how dare you are the second class citizens, we are making all these laws for you, and now you have come out unitedly and you are questioning us. So there were two things which were taking place at the same time. There is no mention of Kapil Mishra. He incited the riots. A lot of people have named there. His video is they're all over the internet. He's talking in front of DCP and he's saying, as long as you are standing here, we are not doing anything, or as long as Trump is here, we are silent. But tell these protesters to move here, or we will remove them from here. By what authority? He lost the election. He is nobody actually. He's just like he's a civilian, just like you or me. But with a lot of people, he showed that kind of authority that we can remove you. First, he threatened it, and after 3 or 4 days, there was a riot-like situation, and people who were picked, whether it is Safura Dargar or Zulfisha or Kafeel, or these are those people who are actually representatives of Muslim youth. They are educated Muslims, they are into government jobs, or they are going to get a beautiful job in their life. They are students. Sharjeel Imam's argument or his debate were they were edited and they were put on internet, and they actually played a dirty game here. Like, how can you question us? You have no right.
Um, Dr. Najmi, I also want to make an announcement now. We are taking audience questions and we already have audience questions coming in. Another announcement I would like to make is that just as there was a letter writing campaign for Dr. Anand Teltumde, there is currently a letter writing campaign for Dr. Kafeel Khan that's happening.
Hmm.
We would be sharing more information in our Polis Project platforms. I urge all of you who are seeing these dispatches to do take your time and write to all of these those incarcerated by the Indian state, especially those like Dr. Kafeel Khan, Gulfisha, Fatima, and many others. We have a question coming in that says that. Um, how can all of this change? What plan do you have? I know it sounds like a large question, but can you both talk to us about what is happening on the ground? We know that dissent is being criminalized, but can you also talk about ways of resistance? I was wondering we could start with Dr. Singh and then go to Dr. Najmi.
Yes, means I can definitely seeing a change. More of a change after this 2019 election. I am definitely seeing a change, and the now the people's perspective is very clear. Means it sounds very optimistic, but the way I am talking to the people, the way I am meeting people, now the perspective is changing. Now, even if if not in the common public, but at least in an intellectual circle, in a educated people. Now the discussion is definitely going on that what's happening to our country, what's happening to our institutions, and why there is so much attack on each and every institution. Means me being a doctor, I can see a direct attack on medical profession, be it through Ayush things or Ayurveda or something like this. Means we are not against an Ayurveda as an allopathic doctor. Means we appreciate it, but mixing both of these things only for this political purposes or just to get people's attention is all the people are raising question now on these things. So definitely a discussion was going on, and I am very happy that now those oppressed classes means the students or the doctors or from SC/ST communities, OBCs communities, and Muslims, other minorities, they are now talking about it, that what type of country is now it is, what type of country is becoming, and from towards which side we are moving. And now they are discussing, and when the discussion starts, you can see that the spark is already there. People have started discussing that there is something definitely wrong and we need to change it. And you will be surprised to know that many of, like, because now everything is divided into religions only by this government, unfortunately. We listen to many of the doctors or the engineers from Hindu background who says that whatever happening now is wrong, and there is a clear cut discussion going on that at least now stop voting for those who are beating people. At least stop this. Other things are, we can discuss, we can means discuss about it, but they says that if they are beating people, they are lynching people. If they are beating and lynching humanity, at least this should be stopped, and there is a clear cut discussion going on. And I am very much optimistic that if the intellectual, if the educated youth is understanding this thing, then definitely in coming time we can see more dissents, more revolt from the educated students. And we have already seen from many universities, you have seen that all universities, not only the Jamia, AMU, JNU, you can see the universities from South and many other universities from Central India also, Punjab universities, they have clearly shown a dissent, and they have clearly shown that now the youth is not going to accept this narrative of divide and rule, and this colonial narrative must go. This is what going on inside the mind of youth.
Dr. Najmi, can you talk to us about the what you see as, or is there, or do you see as resistance on the ground to what is happening?
For me, like I am from Delhi and I was teaching in a private university in Greater Noida for till June. I resigned from there, and my ideas or my thought process is entirely different with what Dr. Harjit Singh has said. I don't find that kind of resistance on the ground. Whenever I am interacting with my students who are bachelor students or master's students or even the PhD students, they are quite happy with the government. And in the morning I was checking the status messages on WhatsApp, and my students were writing that they actually are celebrating the Prashad Bhushan decision. And I felt so hurt. I said, this is what we are teaching you in political science. We have always taught you that dissent is the highest form of patriotism, and for dissent a person of Prashant Bhushan's stature is being punished. And my student, who is hardly 19 years old, a bachelor's student in political science, he is posting a status, इस गुंडे को यही सजा मिलना चाहिए था. This is what he deserved. He is calling him a rogue without knowing who Prashant Bhushan is. And for him, a rogue is somebody. His definition of rogue or gunda is somebody who dissents, somebody who questions the government, somebody who questions the establishment. I was working with the people who are having PhDs from IIT, that as it was an engineering based institute. A lot of people I used to interact, and they were hardcore right wing people. I can share a small incident which happened to me in February, and we were discussing. It was like on nationalism, and There is a professor of English literature who loves teaching English literature in Hindi, as she cannot pronounce the words correctly. That is her caliber, and she loves boasting about RSS and the Hindu right wing and what Savarkar has done for India and what Muslims are doing and all the economic slowdown and everything. Like Muslims are responsible for everything for her. And we were sitting and discussing, and her husband works in Kuwait, and he lives there, and she has got money and luxury and everything, and here she sits in Greater Noida and keeps on criticizing the Muslims and everything. And she was saying, oh, you don't know, you are coming from a different background, you are not a proper Muslim and you don't understand what Muslims are doing, and they are into shit business, they are into polygamy. I said, I don't know even a single person in my life. I have not come across, and seriously, I have not come across a person who is bigamous or polygamous. I have actually never met. And then we started discussing about all these issues, and I just said that, why don't you ask your husband to leave that Islamic country where all the Arabs are living, they are sinners and criminals, just leave that country. And she actually created a communally polarized environment in the university. She went and met every person there, that she is from minority community and she hates my husband, she's questioning my husband because he's working there in Kuwait, and she just hates me. And the person or the people who have always been friends for 7 years, I was working there, the same people who once were my friend and they loved calling me communist or commie, suddenly they started calling me, oh, mullah and Muslim, and oh, I know that is how Muslims treat Hindus. This is what the problem is. You are not going to change your opinion against the Hindus, you are going to hate us. And there was a narrative which was floating across the university that she is somebody, she questioned her, how dare she is not in agreement, why she is not apologizing on behalf of Arabs, why should I apologize on behalf of Arabs or for the past or for the present or for anybody? I have not done anything. And in
Dr. Najmi, on that point, I kind of want to go into this idea of creating narratives.
Mhm.
And also link that to your personal safety. Dr. Singh, as someone who has been fighting for Dr. Khan's release, you've also been fighting for other things. Um, do you personally now feel a sense of fear given what is already what you're seeing in front of you? Does that affect your work?
Yes, definitely. Means I fear for my personal life also. I fear for my professional life also. My mother lives alone at home. I sometimes when I go to duty, I fear if someone can come to my home or try to attack my home. I don't know. Means the way we see outside, the environment is so frightening that it's either you keep yourself, means you remain silent, or you have to face all these things. So I definitely have a lots of fear of all these things. But and on professional grounds, like I am a doctor, I can be framed in any cases. You know how this government work. I can lose my license also because of framing. Like the way they have treated Dr. Kafeel, you can see that he is inside jail. He was suspended, and he was not even allowed to do health camps also, because they says that he is a suspended assistant professor, and neither he was reinstalled, nor he was completely means allowed to go away with his service. Means he was kept in between so that he can't do anything, and this is going on from 2017. Means it's a third year going on with all his problems with him. So obviously, on personal ground, on professional ground, I am frightened. But apart from that, the thing is, like, if if we will not speak, then who will speak? Means I represent one of the greatest institutes, not only in India, but aims have a reputation from the world, all over the world. And my institute taught me that I have to speak for the people. Means my job is to speak for the people, and doctor is the only professional, I think, who, after having the highest level of education, they communicate with the person who have the lowest level of education, might be a layman, might be an uneducated person. So who will translate their words to the government? This comes the responsibility on us. So the way we see layman's, the way we listen from their problems. So we have to convey that to the government. And I have means I was very much, many times I was labeled as I am doing politics. Then sometimes you can also see articles from the right wingers that I am linked to a congress, or sometimes they link me to the left, sometimes they link me to something other ways, to some caste related issues or something like that. They always try to label me so that my words will lose their authenticity. They just try to demean, just to lower the value of my words. So that's why they try lots of things. But overall, I think, means again I can say that I am, obviously I respect the words of Dr. Mehnaz, and she being a Muslim lady, obviously her perception, her view of the world is obviously different, because whatever she is facing, she was telling a very much truth. Maybe I was not able to feel or see that. But overall, if whatever I am seeing overall in other educated people or other people, definitely there is some impact of the present government. Obviously that's why they are winning, that there are so many seats, and that's why we are seeing so much hatred from social medias to roads. We are seeing so much hatred. There is definitely an impact, but that impact is also, there are also a majority of people who are against all this form of things. So I am more confident on that group of people, and I am confident that they will come out at some point. If this goes on like this way, I am very much optimistic. I'm very much hopeful that they all will unite, come out, and at least resist this hatred. At least, means this hate, this violence. This is not Indian culture. Means we are not this type of people. We are non-violent. We don't believe in violence, and this violence, hatred, this must go. And for that, means I will continue to do whatever I'm doing, and till this government have, means they will allow me. I know that they are very vindictive. They have not left anyone. Whoever speaks even one line against this government, you have seen now even the tweets are not allowed. Even the tweets are now considered as such
Sedition.
punishable. Yes, now such a punishable offense. So obviously now it's becoming, every day is becoming more difficult. But still, if you can see that, apart from being local people or local things, they are more using the institutions, they are more using the authority to suppress people. And we have to now uh, see how we can tackle that things, how to tackle these big institutions. This is a major challenge in front of all of us.
So we also have another question from our audience from Zubair Shah, who says, the question is about the silence of the intelligentsia, the intellectual class, and the role that they are playing or not playing in the current moment. Professor Najmi, I think you also had a response to Dr. Singh's, and then maybe perhaps you can also respond and also follow up that answer the question. We're also coming closer to the end of the segment, so if you want to send in your questions, now is the time to send in. Professor Najmi, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Uh, One thing I want to add, that as an intellectual, of course, honest is honest. If we are not talking, then who will do it? But we are scared for our lives. We are scared for our families. And as I was narrating that incident, I have never felt Muslim ever in my life. That was the particular day on 25th February that I was feeling like a Muslim. Okay, I am a Muslim, and this is how a common Muslim feels when people attack them like a pack of wolves. And I felt that humiliation. I felt like my friends can attack at me, then I cannot imagine what a common Muslim or a commoner goes through, a civilian goes through. And Dr. Harjit Singh, whatever he said, it makes me little optimistic. He is into a very noble profession of he is a medical practitioner. That is a noble profession, and people do respect and value them. So their interaction with the people, like they are the lifesavers. That might be a different for us. And especially when you are teaching medical science, there are a lot of open debates in the classrooms with the students or outside the classrooms or in different forums. And how I am looking at the common man and how I am looking at the civilian of India, it is actually very scary. Authority cannot do anything. They can make laws, but they cannot implement unless the society is ready to take those laws on them. What if they make the law and public deny taking them, public deny accepting it? But here public is ready to accept it. It is not just a democracy but a tyranny of majority. We are accepting each and everything the government is saying, not me, but the people who are dissenting are very few in number. The people who are in agreement are in majority, and with the support of this majority, government is bringing or implementing whatever law they can. Minority Commission chairman from Delhi, Mr. Zafrul Islam, there was an FIR against him. Why? Because he spoke against some things which were seditious for the government. Like if you speak out, even sedition, everything is just sedition. Why are you doing this? Why are you doing that? Why are you not in the agreement? Okay, okay, you are not in the agreement. You are doing the sedition. Everything has just become a tweet becomes a sedition. A Facebook post is sedition. WhatsApp forwards are sedition, and it has become a very simplistic thing. Like if you don't agree, I'll file an FIR against you, and police is so it becomes they are ready to arrest you. They will come at your home and they attack in a mob. So people are scared. Intellectuals have their life, they have their family members, and their family is as dear to them as your family is dear to them. Of course we want to take chances, of course we want to come out for you, but not at the stake of our own life. If you are ready to support us, like how many people are out on the streets at the moment for Gulfisha or for Kafeel Khan? I don't see any protest going on right now. Dr. Harjit Singh Bhatti, he and his friends are doing some bit, but what about the common man? He was serving the common man. He was working at BRD Medical College as assistant professor. He became a hero, and because 8 people were arrested, and the FIR was for 8 people, and it is only the Kafeel Khan who is still suffering from all these atrocities. When there was an outbreak of encephalitis in Bihar, it was Kafeel Khan who went there. He collected a lot of medicines and everything, and he started treating the poor there. He is somebody who is speaking for the common man, but common man is not ready to reciprocate. If we are standing for you, we need a reciprocation. We need you to stand for us. We need a safety, we need a shield from you guys. If you are ready to make a promise that that if you are I am standing for you and you are there at my back, then why won't I be standing? Why would any intellectual deny standing for you? But it needs two people. The party, it has to be a consensual. It cannot take place just because Prashant Bhushan said something. I don't see any protest going on. There are few fellow journalists who wrote a tweet, they posted a tweet, I posted a tweet, then it's over. There are a lot of people who don't even know who Prashant Bhushan is, what he has done for PILs, or introducing the PILs to India. They don't know anything. They are just celebrating it as another victory, another battle. Oh, he spoke against the government, now we will see him, he is going to be sentenced, now he will be punished. This is not how things are going to be. We cannot only promise to save the democracy for you. You have to come out. Everybody has to come out, and we have to be on same platform.
Dr. Najmi, Dr. Singh, we are coming close to the last 5 minutes of the segment. So I'm just going to put one of our audience questions, and also you could use this as an opportunity to give us your concluding remarks. Could you tell us what is happening with both Dr. Kafeel Khan and Gulfisha Fatima as of today? If you can give us an update and also your concluding remarks in terms of what's happening to them. Dr. Singh?
Yeah, Dr. Kafeel is still in jail. His next hearing is on 20th August, and till then he is in jail, and we don't know that whether this time any positive outcome comes or not. Though Supreme Court asked the Allahabad High Court to consider early hearing for him. Only this much relief Dr. Kafil's mother has got from Supreme Court, that Supreme Court said that please listen to him. This is what we got. Otherwise, there is no relief to him or his family. Overall, means what I want to say as my concluding remark is that definitely we are living in a dangerous time, no doubt about it, and definitely there is a clear-cut propaganda going on towards minorities, towards a particular agenda is going on. And what we I have seen from all these arrests, and what message they want to give is they don't want any leadership come out of this, especially from minorities, because they are very much afraid of their unity. They are very much afraid that if leadership comes out from them, and if a educated youth, educated male female comes out from Muslim community, and if they becomes a leader, then they can more appropriately demand the rights and equality and justice for minorities. And they don't want that right and justice to be given to the minority. That's why they are picking every individual whoever raised the questions in CA NRC, so that they can crush that leadership. So this is their main agenda, for which they are going. This agenda is going on, and if you want to protect this dissent to continue, as we have seen in CA NRC thing, that if you want to protect that, then people have to support to their leaders like Gulshifa and Dr. Kafeel Khan. They have to support their leaders. They are now their leaders, and people have to support them.
Dr. Najmi?
I want to read some one Urdu share about the situation which is going on. It says that कातिल की ये दलील भी मुंसिफ ने मान ली, मकतूल खुद गिरा था चाकू की नोक पे. It says that a person was murdered, and since there is a corruption and judiciary has gone so corrupt and it has just going through a bankruptcy, judge has admitted this idea that the person who was murdered, he actually fell on the dagger or on the knife. He was not murdered. So this is the kind of situation which I see around me. It is scary, it is a dangerous time, but as we have said, and Dr. Harjit has also said, that people need to come out, people need to support each other, we need to become support system for each other, we need to stand for each other. um, we can't do anything all alone. You cannot move in the right direction without the support of the masses, without the people. So we have to speak up. बोल के लब आजाद हैं तेरे, and as long as you have the tongue, speak up. Why and for whom you are scared? We are the power, we are the majority, the common man is majority, and politicians are just few in number. They are not, they are just dividing us, they are ruling us. Divide and rule policies, that was introduced by the colonial masters, and they are just following it, and we are happily becoming those culprits in participants in all those dirty politics. Instead of doing this, let's start standing for the people who are raising voice for us. Why they are alone? Why are they left alone in the prisons? Why there is not a mass movement? Why people are not coming? They are picking up the professors. Dr. Sai Baba is there in the jail. Henry Babu was picked up. Even their students are celebrating. I mean, what kind of dangerous times are these? And expecting that, oh, intellectuals should speak up, intellectuals will speak up and they will stand for you. The only condition is that you have to support us, you have to stand with us. That will be my only thing.
Dr. Singh, Dr. Najmi, thank you so much for joining us today. I just want to flag a couple more things. Again, the letter writing campaign for Dr. Kafeel Khan is still on. Please do write and make sure that, as both of them have repeatedly said, stand for those who have fought everything and given up everything for us. Second, to sum up, it's important for all of us to think of ways to get to the street. We're also about to launch a report on what the Delhi police did soon after the riots. So that press conference is about to start in another hour's time. We have writer Arundhati Roy and Arjun Sethi both launching the report for us. So please join in. And again, Dr. Najmi and Dr. Singh, thank you so much. And I really appreciate you being a part of this session. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.